Now, Oscar nominations are out and not everyone is happy. Barbie is back to being front and centre of all of our news feeds again after Margot Robbie wasn't nominated for Best Actress and Greta Gerwig missed out on the Best Director nod. Normally, it's the people who get nominated who make the headlines, but not this time. This is a quote from Ryan Gosling. To say I'm disappointed that they are not nominated in their respective categories would be an understatement. And then Ferrera said, who was also nominated for an actual Oscar, she weighed in and said, Greta has done just about everything that a director could do to deserve it. It feels disappointing to not see her on that list. Guys, we'll start with you, Maddie. What do you think about this? This doesn't happen too often. Will we actually speak about who didn't get nominated?
It's wonderfully entitled, isn't it? The sense of entitlement is very, very strong. I mean, I think Barbie is the ultimate red herring. It's a film that feminists immediately seized upon as having all of these powerful messages of empowerment and stuff. But actually, it was a film that basically preached a kind of male subjugation for a start, and also was ultimately a massive great advert for Mattel. So even though it was pretending to be, an indictment of capitalism, but it was basically like a big advert for a giant sort of multi-global company churning out plastic toys, and more people now buy these plastic toys because of the Barbie film. And it's just extraordinary to me how many sort of outspoken feminists were basically praising this bit of PR, essentially, entertaining PR, as if it were, you know, a great sort of feminist work of performance art.
What did you think, James? Do you think that this is something that you should normally be doing as the cast and crew of a movie that actually did get about 8 nominations?
Right. Well, I mean, I'm obviously, I think, fairly far from the target audience for this movie.
What?
I did go and see it. I liked the bit where sorry for the spoiler, where the Kens took over, right? And Ken's song is very good. Good to see Ryan Gosling doing his little bit that he obviously has to do to say this for the team.
Yeah.
I can't see how.
Male feminist.
Yeah, I can't see why it's sexist that what's her name, Margot Robbie, wasn't selected in the Best Actress category, because 5 other women were. I failed to see some of the criticisms here. But this kind of horse trading normally happens in the Oscars, right? There's a huge campaign.
There's always an uproar.
Yeah. And because, you know, it's not that exciting anymore to have all these people who come along and they say all the right things they're supposed to say and have all the right opinions, and they're so divorced from the rest of the world. I think it's good that they're feeling a bit...
Well, I want to show you guys someone who did come out of the woodworks about this. The Barbie cast have picked up some high-profile support with a former Democratic nominee, Hillary Clinton, telling Margot and co, "You are enough." Now, did we expect Hillary Clinton to be posting this?
Oh well, that's the real kiss of death for the campaign, isn't it? If crooked Hillary, no, I'm joking. But it's true. It's this kind of this sort of girl boss feminism now feels very, very outdated, and I think it slightly explains why so many women actually often feel alienated from high-profile feminist figures, because they're like, is this really the kind of issue that we should be putting front and centre? You know, we're talking about whether the giant Mattel film was nominated for an Oscar. What about the cost of childcare? You know, what about difficulties in the workplace for women and the difficulties of juggling home life and work life, etc., etc. It's so kind of real entitlement.
And no one's saying it's not a phenomenal. I thought it was an amazing movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
But apart from that support, I want to show you guys people who actually haven't been supportive of this. Not everyone thinks that they deserve the Oscar.
You have to keep in mind, not everybody gets a prize, and it is subjective. Movies are subjective. The movies you love may not be loved by the people who are voting. But they're not snubs, and that's what I want to sort of point out. And it's not the elites, it's the entire family of the Academy Awards who vote for Best Picture nominations.
What do you guys make of that? We've got Whoopi Goldberg being... Movies are subjective. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. But then you had conservative commentator Candace Owens tweeting, "This is literally why everybody hates feminism. A bunch of hyper-privileged woke women are crying because a woman who played Barbie isn't being considered for Best Actress in an Oscars category. This is the feminist flight today." Do we agree? This is anti-feminism.
Well, I think, thank God, there's nothing major that's going on in the world at the moment, right? There's no warfare, no bloodshed, no economic turmoil. Thank God that we can talk about a kids' film about toys, as Maddie says.
You know what? There are sometimes snubs. You know, it's a travesty that Brokeback Mountain didn't win, and they gave it to Crash, which is a very mediocre film that no one really talks about nowadays. I don't think this is even close to being in that category.
No, I think you're right.
I think it just had such extraordinary PR around it.
It did.
There was this extraordinary hype, like a summer blockbuster. I haven't remembered. It was like I could just about remember when films like Jurassic Park were coming out. It was sort of in that neck of the woods in terms of the the PR, and I think it just felt like this
That's
unstoppable
the
force.
award that it deserves.